Here is the truth that nobody really seems to be clicking on to right now in the markets, and that's that no one has any idea what the heck is happening. There's so much conflicting information right now. We have PPI going down and CPI probably going to go down. Banks are all freaking out, raising the risks of a recession happening. GDP going up. Looks like the next quarter is going to be good. Bitcoin, all this stuff. I mean, right now we're at this kind of weird situation. And again, everybody wants to sound very smart all the time, but basically, here you go. Tails, New Great Depression. Heads, Golden Bull Run. Let's go. What do we got? Oh, shit. Anyway, let's dive into today's numbers. Lots to talk about. Macro news, Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's going to be a good time. Stick around till the end. I'll be answering your questions. Okay. So, USPPI is down. So the expectation was 2.3%. The prior was 2.6%. And the headline is 2.2%. So let's see if I get my Grok came up with a great post on this earlier, but it's not popping up right now. GT says, Larky, the coin dropped for it to count. Can't catch it. Terrible flip. I know, guys. I know. Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe it means the new Great Depression is not coming. Anyway, the PPI. The PPI is the basically the wholesale producer prices, right? So what they're paying for stuff, and that's down. So it's 2.6% last month. The expectation was 2.3% this month, and it's 2.2% this month. The core has dropped from 3% down to 2.4% in a month. The expectation was 2.6. Very, very positive numbers here for inflationary forces. Okay, this is good. Markets are going to like that. Right now, the CPI estimates, the big one, consumer inflation numbers. This is from all the big banks. Okay, now the expectation is 3%. So it's currently 3%. The expectation is that it's going to come in at 3% again. Now we just saw PPIs dropped quite a bit, more than expectation, coming in cooler than expected. Let's see what CPI does. Half the banks are saying 2.9%. The other half are saying 3%. 3% is probably a bit of a wash in terms of things are going to be okay. The market's expecting that. 2.9% could be good. If we get higher than expected, hold on to your butts. Probably not awesome. Jay here saying markets are trading like CPI got leaked and inflation is solved. This dude down here, Fejao, saying market has moved on from inflation. Yesterday's news. It's all about growth and labor markets. Study retail sales and GDP prints over CPI and PPI at this stage of the cycle, which is very, very interesting because the GDP numbers are looking very, very good, which is interesting because all this sort of fear going on in the markets right now, and yet GDP keeps going up. Again, the banks don't know what's going on. We're all at this sort of stage where there's so much conflicting information. Inflation's going down. Rate cuts are coming. PPI's down. I know what you're thinking. Can't we just get back to talking about our beautiful, immaculate crypto coins? Well, not quite yet. Credit card delinquencies jumped to 10.9% in the second quarter, the highest level in more than a decade. Okay. Auto loans aren't doing too bad, all that kind of stuff. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of people, of course, are having to live on credit cards and stuff like that. As Tony said, it's all noise. A lot of it is noise. And the big money will be the ones that end up deciding at the end of the day what ends up happening to markets. Stuff like this would say, well, things are getting bad. This is a early indicator that things are going to get worse. But then inflation down, so less pressure on consumers. Jobs markets aren't that bad at the end of the day. Geiger Capital saying the probability that the U.S. economy is already in a recession is 40%. In fact, the recession may have started as early as March 2024. His recession rule has identified all recessions since 1930 without error, even better than the Somme rule, whose rule was also triggered last week. Now, again, the Somme rule, even the lady who developed the Somme rule said that this reading could be a false positive based on the fact that something like 1.5 million jobs weren't actually counted because of the hurricane or whatever was going on in Texas, some stuff like that. Whatever. So we have all these indicators that normally would say, hold on to your butts. Things are probably going to get bad the next few months. Then you have all these other indicators that are saying, well, maybe it's not all that bad. 59% of Americans wrongly think the U.S. is already in a recession. Who are you going to believe, the economist or your lying eyes? Goldman Sachs now pricing in a 41% chance of a U.S. recession. This is up from 29% back in April. But, here's the thing. Look back at the numbers for last year, okay? In April of 2023, Goldman Sachs had about a 55% chance of a recession within the next year. Didn't happen. The U.S. just keeps not falling on its face. The U.S. economy just keeps grinding forward, showing again that the truth no one really wants to admit here is that the big banks, nobody knows what the heck's going on. Nobody's in charge, man. Nobody's steering the ship. We're just adrift in the ocean, hoping we're blowing towards finer weather and nicer shores and good, nice beaches with cool drinks and hot sunshine. Bank of America no longer forecasts the U.S. recession in 2024. Goldman Sachs, 41% chance. Bank of America, it ain't happening. Nobody knows what's going on. Goldman Sachs say we're tracking quarter two GDP growth at 2.5%, Q3 at 2.6%. Think about that. Solid final demand growth is one reason why we expect demand for workers to hold up, right? Economy still growing, jobs still need to be had, okay? And prevent significant further deterioration of the labor market. Maybe they're all wrong. The banks are just psyoping us, getting us excited for one last rally, and then they're going to dump on our heads, man. Or things are actually going to be okay. And the contrarian idea at this point is going to be that there's not going to be a recession, that we're going to get some kind of standardish 4-year cycle, and the big one's going to hit in 2026. Because here's the thing with recessions and all that fun kind of stuff. Every single day you go to social media, you will see the doom corners out there saying, it's the end times. It's the end times. And I've been here as the end times forever. Since I've been in financial markets, it's always the end times for somebody. And yet we keep grinding forward. At some point, there will be a recession. Recessions are normal parts of the business cycle. The question is, how soon and how bad? A lot of the indicators that we generally fall back on to try to say that a recession is coming, things like the yield curve uninverting, are going to say we got about 6 months left, tops. Or is this the first time that's going to be wrong in a long time? Because remember, all these indicators can be wrong, but that's a tough bet to take, betting against the yield curve uninverting. Regardless, S&P 500 up today, now less than 5. Oh, here, hold on a second. I moved that up a little bit. Aha. Now just a little over 4% away from cracking back to its previous highs. In the current situation, retaking the 50-day exponential moving average. Nate, one thing that concerns me is the softening demand for oil recently, suggesting a slowing economy worldwide. I did read about that, and that's interesting. To an extent, obviously, oil is still massively critically important, but we can also factor in, to an extent, the reality of huge production going on, keeping the markets flooded with relatively cheap oil, plus the rise in more and more renewables. I mean, China's had some massive solar projects come on recently. The Middle East is investing big time in solar. So to an extent, we're seeing demand shifted off for electricity production, especially to newer sources, rise in EVs, more EVs in China, more renewable production in China, perhaps dampening China's demand for oil, but not necessarily demand for energy. To what extent that factors in here, I'm not exactly sure, but it's interesting nevertheless, right? As the S&P 500 approaches the 50-day moving average, the stochastics are showing bullish action similar to the price action when the market bottomed in April 2024, potentially, again, getting us ready for that next big rally, right? It's interesting. Joe says, I drive semi-trucks, and freight is dead in the USA. Interesting. Interesting. Although I just saw some statistics the other day that rail freight is up 15% or something last quarter. But trucking freight is definitely a problem, right? And that's part of prices going down, is that there's just less demand. Consumers can't afford to buy as much. But even if there's a certain amount of pain in the economy, things are still happening, right? The economy is still grinding forward. Positive GDP growth expected for Q3 currently. Rate cuts coming. Again, that window for the Fed to pull off, I don't know, anything, it's closing fast. Will they do it? Don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Real quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is Control Wallet. So this wallet is absolutely crazy. So they support like 1,800 different assets, blockchains within this one wallet. We're talking Bitcoin. We're talking Solana, the Cosmos chains, all the EVM chains, Ethereum, Avalanche, all that kind of stuff. The layer twos, it's got you sorted. Support for all the tokens, support for all the NFTs. So this is basically the one wallet that's going to get you access to all the stuff we want to get access to. Massively comprehensive. So this is from the guys over at XDeFi, who have had a great wallet for a long time. They're upgrading this to the Control Wallet. That's coming out very, very soon. You can go sign up right now for their wait list. It's coming in the next month or two, something like that. So if you want to get involved in the Control Wallet, get signed up for that. When it comes out, you can get first access to that hot new wallet that they got going on. Now, the Control Wallet also lets you pay your gas fees using a gas tank, essentially. So you can either put USDC in that, or you can put in XDeFi tokens, one or the other, and use your gas across all chains. Use that to pay for gas across all chains, which is pretty gosh darn cool, right? So no longer do you have to worry about, okay, I have $5 of ETH here and $5 of ETH there and $200 of ETH on main Ethereum chain. No, man. You just have USDC and that will pay for it, or XDeFi tokens and that'll pay for it. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Now, if you want to learn more about what the guys over at Control are doing or get signed up for that wallet waitlist, link down below in the description. Thanks for supporting the sponsors, and thanks again to Control for sponsoring today's stream. So, price of Bitcoin, $60,000 currently, trading above the 200-day EMA. I like to see that. That's good. Put the 100 back on here. The 100 and the 50 remain just above us right now. Okay, very, very critical levels. MACD, bull cross. We got to really zoom in so you can see it there. There it is, guys. There it is. See that little bad boy right there? Nice. Very, very nice. Now, in order for that not to be a fake out, we need, of course, to see now a little bit of more strength built into the markets. Markets are still feeling a bit fragile, but a positive CPI print tomorrow could be the wind in the sails that we need to say, yeah, that's at least confirmed for a run, maybe back up to test 72K, for example. Remember, 72K is our line in the sand right now. That is the critical line that we want to see Bitcoin finally grinding back over. I mean, my goodness gracious, what an area of price resistance this has been for Bitcoin right through this whole area. Look at all the denials we've had right there at 72K. Let's see. We want to see the price break above 72K. When that happens, that's when the real fireworks start. Otherwise, you might see us MACD bull cross come into play, push us back up to like $68,000 just to put in a new higher low. That's what we don't want to see. Okay, we want to finally break over 72K and get geared up for some real new highs for Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency market to start coming, okay? I take my head off the screen here real quick so you can see the whole post here. This is from Charles Edwards. Global money supply is exploding up. Plus, we just broke out of a massive 4-year consolidation. What do you think this means for Bitcoin? Good things, I hope. Look, rising money supplies are good for Bitcoin historically. Recessions, probably bad for Bitcoin in the short term. Okay, so let's see what happens over the next few months, but more money's coming into the system. China's printing, the USA is buying back $50 billion of bonds over the next 3 months. Rate cuts are coming. Liquidity index going up globally. Milky Bowl Crypto shared this. Global Liquidity Index just broke out a 2-year resistance. Bitcoin correlation with Global Liquidity Index is quite strong. You can see liquidity going down, Bitcoin price going down. Liquidity bottom back here in late 2022. Ever since then, basically been grinding higher. Okay. Andre says it's going to 44, mate. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. But if it does go to 44, based on some kind of macro fears or increased recession fears or whatever it might be, that's probably the last best buying opportunity before we break out to new highs. But man, I feel like so much capitulation happened last week. So much of what you'd normally want to see to say, that's the bottom or damn close. Knock on wood, famous last words, right? Let's see how markets develop over the next few weeks. Good one here from CryptoCon. This one's simple. Bitcoin makes the mid top at the Pi cycle 350 and then finds support at the weekly Gaussian moving average. Support made August 2024. So you can see here, right here, first tap of the top line on the Pi cycle indicator. Then we had this test back down here. Similar situation, you could say, played out in 2019. Hopefully we don't get that 2020 style crash right here, obviously, but we'll see how things play out. Back in 2016, we had that early touch back down there to confirm the bottom line before rallying like crazy, going higher. So interesting, right? Here's some food for thought. Inflation adjusted all-time high for Bitcoin is in 2024 is $80,000. That means Bitcoin has really not made a new all-time high yet. Oh, we made a new all-time high in old dollar valuations, but if you really want to talk about current inflationary dollars and the relative value of Bitcoin, we need Bitcoin to be over $80,000 to say that we've hit a new all-time high when adjusted for inflation. How's that for some food for thought, huh? Pretty crazy, right? Titan of Crypto saying Bitcoin following the pattern. The LMACD is on the verge of bullish crossover on the daily time frame. We just talked about that a minute ago. We have this sort of microphone pattern playing out here that if it holds true and we don't get another test to the downside, then maybe we start looking at a move to the upside. $90,000 up to $100,000. That becomes the key target for a breakout from this pattern right here. $100,000 is where we see the 1.618 Fibonacci line coming in for the retracement, Fibonacci retracement lines. So there you go. Something to watch out for. Hey, real quick shout out to one of my portfolio companies, which is Tap Protocol. If you ever want to see what coins I own, my private sale investments, all that stuff, you can find a disclosure statement in the description on YouTube, pinned comment on Twitter. Also, you'll find a risk disclosure there because in case you haven't figured it out yet, investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money in a very short amount of time. So read that risk disclosure, read the portfolio disclosures, check it out. Anyway, Tap Protocol has launched what it says is the first Bitcoin native smart contract and DeFi tool according directly on Bitcoin Layer 1, relying on the Ordinals Meta Protocol. According to the team, this breakthrough allows for smart contracts, swaps, and liquidity pools without relying on Layer 2 solutions. Very interesting, right? Tap integrates with systems like ICP to enable decentralized operations, enhancing Bitcoin's utility and security for DeFi activities directly on its mainnet, making complex Layer 2 setups unnecessary. Could some innovation like this be the new sort of catalyst for Bitcoin DeFi? Let's watch out. Let's see. Price of Ethereum currently $2,700, smashing into what was previous resistance back here, once again acting as resistance. The next key line up, you can also see here we had support, which flipped that earlier resistance from January, broke out here, support here. We're currently at that very important price level. Next level up $2,800, $2,850 in this sort of zone right here. Once we get past that, we do have a lot of other things to keep going up for, okay? 200-day EMA, 50-day EMA, which is strongly trending down. Not fantastic. We need to see ETH getting some bid here, man. Wolf here sharing is in this inverted ETH chart, a massive head and shoulders pattern is evident. Clearing the 4K neckline could trigger a massive rally. That's interesting. Of course, the implied price from that would be way higher. Way higher. $7,000, $8,000 breakout target from that. Far Side Investors pointing out we had a zero outflow day just 14 days after launch for Ethereum ETFs. Only in 14 days we've had Ethereum ETFs. Holy crap. Feels like a lot longer than that. Anyway, in contrast, Grayscale Bitcoin had 78 consecutive outflow days before the first day without an outflow. That's interesting. Now, if we bring up today's data here, so we have 31 million out today. Again, massively slowed from the early days. The problem is we haven't had strong inflows for Ethereum products recently. Now, BlackRock did have some pretty strong days. A lot of that was probably just repositioning of people going from Grayscale ETH over to BlackRock ETH. So far, we haven't had big institutional bids coming in from Wall Street. That can't last forever. Wall Street is, of course, at some point going to be interested in Ethereum, but we haven't had huge money inflows yet from the Wall Street crowd on ETH. They're still buying Bitcoin. Ethereum has not seen such a big move yet. I wonder if that's to an extent due to them wanting to watch the Grayscale money get flushed out a bit first before wanting to come in and start positioning themselves for Ethereum. ETH Layer 2 activity continues to grow at a parabolic rate. 24.39x greater than Ethereum right now. So huge scaling right now on Ethereum layer 2s versus the layer 1 network. Base, of course, getting a lot of attention. This is a very interesting one. Adriano Faria pointing out, says, there you go, folks. Been saying for a while at Coinbase, we're doing exactly this. Massive win for Base and Ethereum, most importantly, the users. So for on-chain summer, Coinbase makes it easier to get on-chain by giving all members $10 in gas on Base every month. Huh? With gas fees as low as cents, that's hundreds of transactions for free. That's, of course, if you have a Coinbase One account. Still, though, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. That helps get people on-chain. That helps people get involved in what's happening on Base. I still think that Base is one of the absolute top theses and hype train narratives for the remainder of the cycle, and that a lot of stuff there is going to get marked up quite a bit, in my opinion. Okay. Real quick before we dive into your questions, if you are a cryptocurrency trader, check out Bybit. They've got some crazy deals going on right now. You can find out all the details you need about that down in the description of the YouTube video. But real quick, you can get a $500 USDT free trade. Pretty cool, right? That could be for Bitcoin. That could be for Ethereum. They have Pet-based, some other stuff that you can take advantage of that free trade for. Plus, you'll get some free spins for their massive prize pool they got going on right now. $100,000 in prizes from trading funds, funded trading accounts to F1 tickets, free cash, and more. So link down below. Check it out if, of course, you're a cryptocurrency trader. Now, let's hydrate. Meridian said, Sui went up 100% earlier today, then came back down a bit. A lot of people are talking about Sui right now. It's definitely a competitor chain. I know the narrative right now for Sway is that the Solana killer, all that kind of stuff. And look, a lot of interesting technical stuff there. Total value lock still pretty small. Total number of protocols built on it still pretty small. So if you are buying into that narrative, well, it's an interesting time to be paying attention, perhaps. Although do keep in mind, we do have some pretty big unlocks still coming. So there will be some definite sell pressure coming in there from all of that. Is there enough demand to cancel that out? Will there be enough demand on chain for this asset? Have we seen enough built there yet? Are there apps that people need to go to Sway for yet? I'm not so sure. So it's sort of more of a build it and hope more people will build so others will come at this stage. Could be a pretty big upside bet if it plays out in favor. I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people on my timeline talking about this one. So definitely there's something to pay attention to there in terms of narrative. I don't have a position. Saw somebody saying, oh yeah, by the way, Coinbase are also bringing Coinbase Bitcoin. So CBBTC. We have CBETH, which is Coinbase staked Ethereum. Now they're going to bring in Coinbase BTC as a new product. Pretty cool. Benji, the good boy of base. Benji and Miggles, man, the cat and dog of base. Comparatively, as cats and dogs go, meme coins, right? Comparatively, as cats and dogs go, and I own both those, by the way, comparatively as those go, massively undervalued compared to the prices of some of the dogs and cats on Solana. Perhaps there's opportunity there. Or I lose all my money. We'll see. Lark, what happened? Decimated. They've been bear. They're bear market builders. One day their token tanked and never recovered. I do not know what happened to them recently. I sold my position a while back at a loss, just, and they kind of came back, and I'm not sure what they're up to nowadays. I haven't been following them closely since then. So I hope they're doing well. I hope they deliver a game, but I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't been paying very close attention since I sold my position. Fortunately, didn't make money in that one, lost a bunch of money in that one, but that's, the losers, the ones who lose money. I'm not saying Decimate is like a loser. I hope they do well. I hope their game delivers, and people who are invested or investing end up making much money, obviously. But the ones that you lose money on your portfolio in crypto tend to be sort of overshadowed by how much money you can make at the right time in the cycle on the ones that end up being the big winners. Gaming's been very surprising this cycle so far. I feel like maybe when like Off the Grid launches, I'm an investor, by the way, but when Off the Grid launches, avalanche-based game, that could really bring in mainstream attention to gaming again. But we've had big Telegram mini games and stuff like that launch, but a lot of that's just people farming free coins and stuff, which is fine. Fine. It's a fine use case. But wait until we get a game that's actually so good, people just want to play it to play the game, not just because they're getting free money out of it. The free money and NFTs and stuff, that's just a bonus. So we could put Illuvium in that category too. I think Illuvium's got a beautiful game. We got a video on that coming out in a few days. We'll watch that. It's gonna be pretty cool. Lark, do you ever connect privately with other crypto creators? Banter, Lab Crypto, Miles, House Crypto, Elio, Alex Becker. Not really. To an extent, I mean, I've got some of these guys, a couple of the people you mentioned here, on Telegram or whatever. Like I've had Ran on the channel before from Crypto Banter, but for the most part, not that much. Not that much. Sometimes talk to other people and stuff like that, the other content creators, but not as much maybe as I should, or I don't know. But yeah, keep to myself more than that. Sui's getting pumped right now because it was listed as a potential asset for a Grayscale trust. That'll bring some demand in. Sui had to lower its speed projections because the higher levels never manifest. It's still fast, just not faster than Solana, which was the original claim to fame. I sold my Sway when it was up 120%. That's usually a top sign. Any thoughts on Caspa? Not really. I know. One of these days we need to actually dive into that more. I know it's been very popular for a long time, and a lot of you guys are invested, which is fantastic. I know it's made a lot of people a lot of money, so I salute you guys for taking that early risk and making that money. Remember, we celebrate winners around here. Winning is great. Did you hear the rumor that Elon was at Charles Hoskinson's ranch? I have not heard that rumor. I have no idea. I have not heard that. That's an interesting rumor, man. Look, Charles shaved his beard and all kinds of crazy stuff's happening, huh? Lark, been subscribed for a while. Every content. What are your thoughts on Render price predictions for a cycle? I think we talked a bit about Render yesterday, and I don't have a price prediction for you, but I can say that Render is definitely, we did a video on it 6 months ago or something, now must be, and I was quite impressed. It's like, damn, this is actually really cool in terms of AI, GPU narratives, DePIN narratives. Like, it's kind of got all the stuff, huge backers, doing all the right things. Again, I don't have a position, but it certainly piqued my interest. And I thought maybe I should get a position. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Haven't done that. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Still, I think about it from time to time, but I'm kind of at the point now where I'm just like, I need to stop taking new positions and consolidate what I have to get fewer coins, because you don't need 50 coins to make money. In fact, you probably underperform if you have too many coins. I need to consolidate down even further, to be honest. Lark never answered my question about Mojo. I was wondering if that's one of the things you got from your portfolio. I'd hate to. So I am a private sale investor in Mojo. Most of my tokens are still, it's like 95% of my tokens or something like that are still locked up. So it's going to be a while. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I hope that they have huge success. I think they've done a lot of great stuff, to be honest. Yeah, cool game potential. Let's see. You know, the gaming market's pretty vicious. The crypto market's pretty vicious, but I feel like they've been doing all the kind of right stuff. They came out at a rough time in the market. They've had a lot of downward price action since then, but let's see. Let's see how it plays out. Arrow breaking many records even during this time. Yeah, Aerodrome's been going crazy, man. On-chain, volumes on the exchange and stuff, been absolutely crazy. Okay. So I put my entire savings on it. Okay, man. I'm a big Aerodrome bull, but I don't think I'd put my entire savings on any one altcoin. It's too much that can go wrong. Praying for your bags, man. Praying for your bags. Again, I'm an Aerodrome bull, mind you, but that just feels like a lot. Not financial advice. You gotta make your own decisions, right? But yeah, I hope for your entire savings sake that it ends up being really, really good. And I'm a bull. I think we go up to $5, maybe $10 for Aerodrome at some point during the cycle, and the liquidity position that I have, just make them bank, man. Make them bank. Big money every week. I love it. I love it. Big fan. Big fan. You're going to die in 7 days. This comment gets the Optimist of the Day award. What do you think about Elrond Multiverse X? I sold my position a while ago. We'll start with that. I feel like great blockchain, right? Great blockchain. Technically, they got all the stuff going on, but I feel like it just wasn't getting sort of the hype, the adoption, the builders, all kind. There's some stuff built over there, some stuff going on, but just, I don't know. I feel like and that can change really, really quickly. It could get narrative really, really quickly, and I'll go, oh, look, egg on my face for, taking profits on the bag, all good. But we made a lot of money on eGold. We got into that one super early in the last cycle, took profits on it multiple times. And when I finally sold my bags that I had left, still sold them at a nice profit. Great. But right now, I feel like they haven't been getting the kind of hype that I would like to see. I mean, look where what people are talking about. Look where narratives are going. Look where money's going right now. And I haven't really seen that yet, really eventuating over there. Lark, how's your smoking chicken fish bag looking right now? I have not looked at it recently. Just enjoying the funny memes from time to time. I've got a very small amount of smoking chicken fish, man. It's not like, it's a fractional percentage of my total portfolio. Okay. So if it goes zero, I don't care. It's all good. But I still think it's a pretty funny meme. And if they can sort of catalyze that into something more throughout the bull run, I'd happily take a few X's on it if the time were to come. But hey, say la vie if it goes down. So thanks for all the help on the day. Thanks for checking in, man. It's nice to see you guys here and to talk crypto. I always enjoy it. What do you think about Curve Finance? Well, I think that I shouldn't have sold my Curve Finance bags for Prisma Finance, because that thing went down bad. Holy cow. Anyway, that happens. Curve Finance has always been an interesting one because there's such intense inflation to it. I know they just lowered the inflation, but there's been so many coins flooding into the market without actually having any real strong use case for the Curve token itself. So great if you are on the receiving end of that inflation and getting the rewards and farming the rewards. If you're trying to buy and hold curve on the idea that it's going to take off massively at some point, there's just not a strong use case for it in terms of it being a token, right? So great farm, probably buying and holding it. I mean, there'll be a time maybe when blue chip DeFi makes a comeback and it'll make some money and that'll all be cool. But I think there's other, and look, I'm not super up to date on, maybe there's been some big updates to Curve tokenomics that I'm not aware of. And, fine. I haven't been tracking it that closely recently. But something like MakerDAO is probably much more enticing for me personally. We just did a great report on that, by the way, in the newsletter. You can go find that at thewealthmastery.io. Check our crypto library. It's over there. You can read about that. But yeah, I think it's such a critical part of DeFi infrastructure, but the token doesn't feel super strong to me. It's probably the easiest way to sum it up. I'm all in on Aerodrome and happy with this position, but is there something I can do with it to farm more, or do I need to buy an equal amount of US? So there's two things you can do. Both, Sean. So here we go. Sean, here's what we can do. And you have to understand that both of these things require you taking a varying degree of risks. So if you want to, what I'm doing right now with about half of my Aerodrome bag is I'm providing liquidity into the USDC Aero pool. So that's about 70%, 75%, something like that APY right now. It's fine. It's good. Get a nice amount of tokens every week. The problem with that is something called impermanent loss, where basically, let's say you take $10,000, put it into that. So $5,000 in Aero tokens, $5,000 in USDC. The problem is that after a year's time, you go back and check on that position and you only have $5,000 left in your liquidity position. That's the impermanent loss, right? Now it might be more. You might go back in a year's time and you have $15,000 there. But you need to be aware of these realities. Now, let's say you get your 75% APY for that year. So you've made $7,500 in tokens. You have $5,000 left in your liquidity position. You cash out, and you've got, assuming the price of everything stays the same, you made $2,500. Not bad. Now, of course, you're going to hope that the price of Aero increases enough that you're able to pay back the liquidity position. ROI on that, get some profits before you take money back out of liquidity position. Now, the other thing you can do is, of course, lock up your Aero. I think it's a 4-year lock or something like that. And you get to then benefit from all kinds of token rewards given out to stakers. That's a long time to lock up your coins, though, man. That's a whole cycle. You got to ride that down through an entire bear market, ride it back up. Are the rewards worth it for you? I would say if that's something you're looking at doing or considering doing, you may be farther ahead just selling at $10 or something like that versus locking your coins up. But if that's something that you think is an attractive offer to you, then go and research, and then research some more so you fully understand what it is that you're getting yourself into, and understand that now we're in relatively positive market conditions, but in bad market conditions, all that's going to look a lot different. I did not fully read Arthur's new essay. I just kind of skimmed over it, but it's always pretty interesting what he has to say, but I don't have a in-depth opinion on it, but I always enjoy reading what he's got to write. Hypothetically speaking, if you were about to be in a situation where you couldn't touch your crypto for 2 years, what would be your play? Convert memes to Bitcoin, possibly some base plays and hope for the best. I mean, that's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. 2 years from now, late 2026. I mean, we are highly likely to be in some deep bear market territory by that point. Don't know. 2 years is a long way away to forecast, right? But if our 4-year cycle is any kind of indication, then we're likely to be in some pretty rough territory by that point. But if you're just going to look at it, okay, what's the safest thing to hold? I mean, it's going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum, and maybe Solana, right? All those meme coins, if we are in a bear market, those things are going down 99%, man. 99%. Oh, you might be in a really, really good meme and it only goes down 95% during the bear market, okay? Then you're winning. But just be careful, okay? If you're going to be holding memes long term, a lot of them are not going to perform well in a bear market situation. Nothing performs well in a bear market situation, but something like Bitcoin and Ethereum perform the least worst, let's say. Lark, have you kept your jawline? The things you guys ask sometimes. I had to go all in on Engine. That's one, we used to talk about Engine a lot back in like 17, 18, 19, even maybe in a bit in 20. But I haven't thought about Engine in a long time. I hope they're doing good things still. Lark, I don't think we've even come close to the top yet. I haven't seen the whole crazy Lambo thing happen on Twitter yet. I've got a video coming for you guys tonight. Well, tonight for me, probably daytime for most of you guys. But anyway, it's coming in the next 12 hours or so. And that's kind of looking at the total market cap of all crypto coins and where we sort of are on that cycle, where the Fibonacci projections are going to put us for potential cycle tops, or at least very critical moments, we could say, in the market cycle where it might be not a bad idea to take some money off the table. So watch that. It's a very interesting video looking at those sort of where we are now, where we could be going, the sort of realistically, we never got to a new high water mark for the total market cap of crypto. There's been a lot of player versus player games, the meme coins and all that stuff. Most of the technical altcoins have not done very well. That time will change. There will be a time in the market at some point. I don't know when that point is, but there'll be a time in the market when the market actually starts to value the massive cash flows of protocols like Maker, or the massive numbers of gamers that are going to come into in the network effect of some of the games that are coming or are already here. IMO, I think Decimate looks as good as off the grid, graphics wise, and it's getting close to a full release, but no one's talking about it. I don't get it. Those guys, again, shout out to the Decimate team. Those guys have been working hard for a long time. One of the things I've found out in my many years in this market is that good tech and all that kind of stuff doesn't always necessarily matter that much. It's about execution. It's about building hype. I mean, how many blockchains are out there that are technically awesome, but no one cares about? Right? A lot. That's the answer. So many blockchains out there. The vast majority of them have almost no users, no total value locked, nothing built on them, in spite of the fact, like, well, we do all these transactions per second. Yeah, but you don't need them because you don't have any users. Execution becomes important. And I think that's where something like off the grid, speaking from my bags here again, something like off the grid becomes very potentially big because it's got so much backing from Avalanche. It's got, Neil Blomkamp on board, and a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are excited about it. Big Web 2 gaming streamers and stuff have played it and given it good reviews. So there's some potential there. If you're holding physical silver, then you're sitting pretty waiting for the swing. Sold all my silver, actually. Need to consolidate it all into my gold position. So I sold all my silver for gold back at 32, 33. What the heck was something like, I can't remember. It was in New Zealand dollars. I was looking at the US charts at the time, but I sold for New Zealand dollars, of course. But then I took that and put it back into gold, upped my total gold position. That was from a storage perspective. So I've got it in a vault currently, but they didn't store silver. So I had to just consolidate the silver into gold, which is fine. It's fine. I miss my silver though. It's pretty, and I liked looking at it. I really did. Anyway, Lark, do you think, do you like Moon Beam and Moon River? How long will this bull run last? Worst case scenario, best case scenario. Worst case scenario, let's start with the second question first. Worst case scenario, the bull run only lasts until the end of the year. We have a left translated cycle. Q4 or maybe early Q1, market peaks. It's over. Sell, get out, run for the hills. It's going down. US recession comes. all the bad things happen. Best case scenario, Q4 2025. That's the 4-year cycle base case for how the cycle is going to play out. Okay. On Moonbeam and Moon River, I no longer have a bag, sold it a while ago for some kind of disgusting loss. That was a good time. Moonbeam, I've taken very little profits on it over the years. I've mostly just been staking and staking and staking and staking and staking. Got a good bag. I am unstaking it currently just for a bit of flexibility, and I've considered selling this position and consolidating into something else. It's like, man, I got so many damn coins. It's a tricky one. So on the other hand, I feel like, yeah, but Moonbeam could do something big. You know, polka dot hype's going to pick up one of these days. People will start paying attention. Moonbeam's such an obvious beta play to that. I'll keep you posted. Kind of where I'm thinking right now. Fibonacci just weird, but then people are weird. Mommy milkers. Fibonacci is a crazy thing. What's crazy is how scarily accurate it can be sometimes, which is why I'm paying a lot more attention to it this time around. But we'll see. You know, U.S. recession coming early in the cycle or mid-cycle. Let's say we're about mid-cycle right now. A U.S. recession coming about now. Not again. We talked about this at great length. With so much conflicting data on this. GDP growth just keeps grinding ahead, right? Jobs data is not actually that bad, but then the yield curve's uninverting. So crap, I don't know. We'll see. But that could invalidate some of those targets, at least in the short term. The long term, we still could be just fine on that. Do a couple more here, guys, and we'll finish up for today. Iran's buying Solana. Silver bullet's very useful. Yeah, man, gotta watch out for the werewolves. Gotta watch out for those werewolves, man. Do you think Chainlink will ever wake up? For my bag's sake, I hope so, man. Gosh, what a technically solid altcoin, man. That's just they need to change their damn logo to a dog picture, and then people would really be like, something Chainlink. It's got the dog picture. Look. Oh, it's got some tech apparently too. Oh, well, it's some tech stuff, whatever. But it's got a dog picture. It's kind of where we are in the market right now. Still holding my Chainlink bags. Okay. Still excited about Chainlink. Still think they have great potential for this market cycle. But yeah, it's definitely been not getting the kind of hype that it probably deserves from considering how good the tech is, right? Will Cardano get a $2 billion market cap decentralized exchange this cycle? I have no idea. The daily reality for Cardano is it just needs to get more stuff happening on chain. And if it starts getting a good DEX and some good meme coins and some stuff happening, then you can see some really positive metrics building up for Cardano. Right now, total value locked is really low considering how big of a market cap it has. Total daily users are really low considering how big of a market cap it has. Total number of projects even on Cardano are really low considering the big market cap that it has. And that's not throwing shade at Cardano. That's just the truth, guys. Okay. Big Cardano fan, made lots of money off it back in the day. And I hope that everybody who has Cardano makes huge amounts of money this cycle. Okay. I have no idea if they're going to get a $2 billion market cap DEX this cycle. But man, if there is one that is out there and it's low cap right now, that's one of those big play opportunities, right? Those decentralized exchanges can do super well. Look at Pancake Swap last cycle. That thing went insane on BSC. Aerodrome this cycle on base. I'd imagine you've been playing with some gold coins, diving into the pile, making a golden angel. I like the Family Guy skit on that where Peter Griffin dives into the pool full of gold coins and he gets like broken legs. It's like, it's not a liquid, it's a solid. It's many small pieces that are a solid. It's pretty funny. Lark, you gonna buy any more Miggles? The thought has crossed my mind, but I have not done it yet. I feel like maybe I've got enough for such a high risk play. Link with hat, yes. Andy on base continues to disappoint. I feel like Brett's the chosen one by the cabal. What about High Street? I haven't been paying I haven't been paying a huge amount of attention to High Street recently. Got in it last cycle, made some money off it, staked a whole bunch of it, made a bunch off of that. I think most of my staking rewards have come through, and I'm basically fully out of that position. I think there might be 1 or 2 staking rewards still to claim, but I think mostly out of that position. When do you swap your gold back to silver? I'm not sure that I will. I don't know. Maybe in the future when I've got better sort of home vault situations set up. There was a lot of little pieces of silver, man. That stuff's, you got, when you're storing silver, you got to have a much bigger volume of safe to store all that in, let's say. Anyway, I put it all in a vault right now for, let's say, more peace of mind. The gold, that is, right? Lark, can we still expect a $15 Jupiter? If the cycle goes as bullish as it could, then yeah. Fingers crossed for my bags. Lark, you ever gonna grow your hair long again? I don't think so. I don't think so. Guys, we're going to finish up there for today. Thank you so much for your questions. It's been an awesome stream. As always, a pleasure to hang out with you. Thanks for coming and having a sparkling water with me. Hope you're hydrating, okay? And I'll see you in the next stream. Peace.